Luther Ragsdale, you can call or text 470-740-9300. That's 470-740-9300. Email address admin@lutherragsdale.com. That's admin@lutherragsdale.com. See, we still have people joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody out there. Good to have everybody on the line today. So, without any further ado, you guys know how I always get started, whether it's a webinar, boot camp, workshop, anything and everything. I always start the exact same way. I always start with what? A word of prayer. I see I have a lot of new folks on here. Let me explain to you why I pray. There was a time in my platinum real estate career when I was trying to build platinum, and to be honest with you, I didn't know if I was going to make it. And so at that time, I was praying and I prayed and I prayed and I kept praying. God, just show me a way, just show me a way out. And He did. So I said, if I was praying back then, I will always pray, and I always have and I always will. Before any event, before anything we do, I always start with just a simple word of prayer. So, you guys, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you today with bowed heads and humble hearts. Father God, we just thank you for this day. I thank you for this creative financing webinar. I thank you for everybody under the sound of my voice. Father God, I thank you for Platinum Real Estate. Father God, I just pray that Platinum Real Estate will always be the corporation that's doing things that is pleasing in your sight. This we ask in the precious name of Jesus the Christ. Amen. All right, you guys. So let's jump right in here today. Before we go any further, just want to remind everybody, we do have the Legacy Leadership Program. This is for individuals. They meet directly with me every week. Every Monday we have a meeting, and we do two things. One, in the Legacy Program, everybody in the Legacy Program, one, have a passive income. You're able to build people in your network. So we put agents underneath you. When those agents are underneath you, you're able um, to help them build your network. Every time they close a deal, you receive 10% of their closing each and every closing. This gives you a guaranteed income. Next, everybody in the Legacy Program, we have leads. We have buyer leads, we have listing leads, and we give them to the agents in the Legacy Program. We have more leads than we have agents. I personally coach everybody in the Legacy Program. So we have more leads than we have agents. We need more legacy leadership agents to help work our leads. If you want to learn more, contact us at careers.platinumrealestate.com or careers@platinumrealestate.com. Or you guys have my information as well. You can always reach out to me. But this is a great opportunity for you to build your business. So, Legacy Leadership Program. Would love to talk to you more about those details, okay? All right. So today we're talking about DSCR Part 2. Now, last month we talked about Part 1. I sent out the recording to everybody. I'm sure everybody got the recording. So even if for some reason you missed it, you can always go back and check out that recording. So I was talking to Tamara Burch, and we had a lot of questions. It was a great session last month, but we didn't get a chance to finish everything. Didn't get a chance to cover all of the information. So we said, you know what? Let's do part 2. So here we are with part 2. Now, I really don't have to introduce her. She's been working with us for over a decade now. She handles the finance, she handles the money. She's been doing this for over 30 years. So obviously, she knows what she's doing. Her picture's right there on the screen. Miss Tamara Burch. Now, let me give you all of her information. You can go to her website, tamaraburch.com. TamaraBurch, right there on the screen, tamaraburch.com. Write that information down. Visit her website, tamaraburch.com, or you can call her directly, 770-916-1234. 770-916-1234. Feel free to reach out, give her a call or text. Now, I love questions. So please feel free, put your questions in the chat, raise your hand and ask questions. Um, because we love questions. So we finished part one. Now we're going to jump into part two. So without any further ado, Miss Tamara Burch.
Hey, hey, how's everybody doing? I woke up this morning, Luther, and I was like, it really isn't October, is it? Like we're not in October 25. I felt like you and I were just talking about it being January. What in
You
the world?
know,
What happened?
yes, it's October. Weather's changing. This is a fun time of year for me, right? Because October is that month where it's not quite that hot. It's not really cold yet in Atlanta. Now I know we got folks joining us from all over, but here in Atlanta, it's not that cold yet. So I really October.
Oh yeah, it's when we get to pull out the sweaters and we get to
Right.
get the turtlenecks going and oh
That's
my
right.
gosh,
That's
and then we just go outside and we just want to be outside in the fresh air walking around,
that's right.
enjoying it. Well, hey gang, I hope everybody is finishing their last quarter strong, really making a difference in people's lives. That's what we're here for and that's what I love. I'm gonna have Luther take us to the next screen. So, what did we talk about in the last one? And I've done a little bit of an update on this. One thing Luther and I did talk about is what would be the next class. So, right there on your screen, next class, first time home buyer. So who's shopping? Who is really shopping right now? So what we have seen in the trends lately, and this is great news for all of you who are buyers agents, which I hope is most of you on this call. But even if you're a listing agent, I have some tips for you as well. But who is shopping right now? Well, people relocating, that's never going to change, right? Interest rates are irrelevant to them. They're shopping because they're moving from, New Jersey to Florida or New York to Atlanta or California to Texas, whatever the case may be, right? So we're still seeing, big numbers of people moving and transitioning for jobs for one reason or another. The biggest category right now that we're seeing first time home buyers. So we definitely want to circle back on that. The majority of what we'll talk about in that class is national stuff, meaning if you are from another state, you'll be able to hear what we have to say. I'm licensed in a bunch of states, so I can help you with those. But either way, this is good information for you. Who's shopping that first time home buyer? And then who is also shopping? And I listed this separate. And I know Luther and I are probably, this is what we're going to spend some time on here, is investors. What are they doing? So for you who are listing people, on this call to earn a little tidbit about what's happening with the contracts you're receiving. Listing investors are listing as well as sell. They're buying. Okay, they're doing both. That was a misprint there. Sorry about that. But they are buying right now and they are selling right now. They are doing both. And there's good reason behind that, which is why we're seeing so much in the market on DSCR, so much on fix and flip. And we're covering a tad bit on DSCR because we left off without answering a lot of the questions. And I know Luther wrote down several of the questions that were left behind that we didn't get to. Um, So we're seeing investors who are wanting to sell property where they've got a lot of equity in it. And then what are they doing? A lot of them are taking that equity and they're actually buying more property from you. So pay attention to those investors. They're moving more than the one every five, right? They might be moving two, three, four, or five for you a year. So they're really big right now. They're either cashing out these properties, which we can cash out. I'm doing several every month for you guys where we're cashing them out and then they're taking that money to go buy more. So we're going to go back to the DSCR, which is the next one here, and just kind of a 2 minute overview, just a 2, 3 minute overview. And I know Luther said he had questions on the DSCR, but before we jump to the next screen, Luther, did you have a question on anything on that screen? I know we talked about it and we couldn't believe how high that first time home buyer percentage was rising.
No, 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 we're good to go. Let's keep it moving. We're looking good.
This is great. Okay, so next screen, we're covering this DSCR. He's already on it. Just a kind of friendly reminder, from our last class that we did. And then I know Luther's got some questions. He said he had saved from the last class that we didn't get to. What is DSCR? Who's doing it? In case you missed it, here's a little tiny recap for you. That's going to be that person who wants to buy a property. They are not, let me repeat it, they are not going to live in this property. We have other programs for them, okay? They don't want to prove any income whatsoever. They just want to take the cash that they have and go grow their business, whether that is as an individual or an LLC. They're wanting to build up their portfolio for their retirement or their generational wealth, whatever their reason is. They want to own more than one property and they have a set number they may be trying to get to, and you're there to help get them to it. So we look at, what is the credit is going to be important. If you recall in our conversation, we're looking at the credit and we're looking at the assets and we're looking at the property. We are not looking at their W-2s, their tax returns. None of that is required at all. We want to know that the property is going to cash flow, okay? Meaning we have enough cash coming in to make the payment. And typically, what we find is we find two types in this scenario. Although a third is coming out now, we find mainly two types. We find the Airbnb, which we do. We'll find the Airbnb, and then we will also find the person who's just going to put somebody in. They're going to be in there for a year. They're going to rent the property. They don't have to think about it. Is rented, right? So those are the two main ones we're seeing in major cities, which we're aware of and can do those. We're seeing rent by the room that's growing tremendously. Rent by the room, not so much in the outlying areas, but in the bigger cities, say like Atlanta or maybe Jacksonville or Miami, right? We'll see some rent by the rooms going on there. Somebody buying a 5 or 6 bedroom and moving that. So what we do is we determine the rent. If it's an Airbnb, and they already own it, they're able to show us that cash flow already. And then we get an Airbnb cash flow from the appraiser. If it's just one person in the property, then we're going to take the lease that exists. If there isn't a lease that exists, we're going to the appraiser to tell us what is the current market rent for that immediate vicinity and using that to calculate. Now, when you're working with these people, you're more than welcome to call me. Numbers on the bottom of the screen right there. I'm going to do numbers with you on a very good estimate of what we think those will. But again, if you're working with Luther, he's super awesome too. But we're going to give you what we think those estimates will be. And that's what we base everything else on, whether they're going to put down 20% or put down 25%, whatever those numbers are looking like. And so really talking to them as somebody who owns rental property myself, it's really easy for me to have the ROI conversation with them. Plus, I'm closing a bunch of these every single month. So I'm just, sharing with them what other investors are doing and how to build that business, whether you're on this call because you want to build it yourself or you're working with people who are trying to build it as well. And so these individuals will close in an LLC or in their individual name. So they could close in an LLC if we want to. They just cannot occupy this property. Okay. What a lot of investors, you have to step away from yourself and think of an investor. A lot of investors will put prepayment penalties on these loans. They do it on purpose to increase their cash flow, right? They're going to say to me, hey, Tamara, I'm going to own this for a year. I'm going to own this 3 years. I'm going to own this 5 years. This is a permanent one for me. I'm not going anywhere. This is going to be my retirement income. Each and every investor has a different reason of what they're trying to do and how they're going to try to do it. And so sometimes prepayment penalties will come into play because they are wanting, and they understand them, they're wanting that cash flow. They want to make more money and either A, pay it off quicker, or B, have an income flow that they can then use to go buy more property. Right. And so DSCR ends up being a win-win-win for investors. They absolutely love it because instead of them getting hindrance on how many they could buy because their debt ratio is getting out of whack, they realize that for them, it's unlimited. They can buy as many properties as they possibly want as long as they're managing them, their credit score is being maintained, which I give them some tips on that, managing it, keeping that credit score high, in which case they just go buy another property. Again, they're using this for 1 to 4 families, which is amazing. And keep in mind, you may come across an investor who goes, hey, I'm still trying to get some capital together. They can, which I've got 3 of those working right now. They're taking the cash out, and I don't mean 50,000. They're taking 400,000, 500,000, and they're taking this cash out of a property and then using it to build up more wealth for themselves, right? They're using debt to build their wealth. So they understand that. They know what they're doing. They're wanting to do it. And so just kind of keep in mind we're a resource for that as well. We'll look at the overall financial picture of your investor and explain to them in great detail. We'll explain in great detail to them, this is what we're looking at. Here's some options, but at the same time, if you have the cash, let's move it forward with the cash, right? So I wanted to stop here because I know we had questions. I know this was a 5-minute monologue there. And I hope everybody else has a coffee like I do or a tea, and get some of these questions answered that we left on the table last time. Luther?
Okay, hey, I have a question here, and before I let me see as if she Edith, as I would like to know is if she might can answer it live because she can probably ask the question better than I can. I can read it, but Edith, are you with us? Can you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Edith. How are you?
I'm fine, fine. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning. Good morning.
morning.
Good morning. She have a couple of great questions. Rather than me mess the question up, Edith, give it to us. But what you got?
Okay, now let's see. Let me go back and see what I put down because I had two, I believe,
That's right. She
and
got two of them.
and I was trying to figure out how do you um, get together with someone or have the camaraderie to uh, find somebody that's relocating here. How do you work with them? How do you find out who's relocating? And the other one was also, I would like to work with an investor, but I don't know how to reach out to them to see can we work together.
These are great questions. And I love that you're asking them, Edith, because a lot of people are thinking that and they're just not posting it. So if you have a question, please ask it because I guarantee you someone else is thinking it. And if you don't want to, like Edith's getting on, she's talking to us and we're going to have a dialogue here. You can post it and we will read it for you to make sure. And I know we have bunches of them already. So For Relo, some of my people who work with Relo, they tell me that they market specific areas through either Facebook or Instagram, but they're actually marketing to zip codes after they determine the zip code that's been. So, like, let's say you're Miami, or let's say you're Atlanta, or whatever your case may be. You can go and use AI, and you can determine who is moving to the area and from where. And you can drill it all the way down to your zip code, or you can drill it down to your city, or whatever the case may be. And then what they are doing is they are spending money to market in other areas how they are the expert for this particular area. I'm the expert of Johns Creek. I'm the expert of Miami. And so their phone rings for people who are relocating under that scenario. But they are definitely paying to market, and or they put it up on Facebook that they put those counties, they put those cities, they put those zip codes and anything that they're doing so that it can be seen, as well as the formula can determine that hey, you're saying Johns Creek over and over and over and over. Okay, so someone else says the word Johns Creek, agent, you're going to pop up. The more you put out there, the more you say this is where you're an expert, the more likely people are going to see it. Did that make sense
But
to you?
yes,
Yes, it did.
yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so
Okay.
your
Now,
second,
no, no,
your
no, no,
second.
no, 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 no. Let me cover the second one. Listen, Edith, listen.
Uh-huh.
Here's the deal, right? You're a licensed agent, right?
Right.
Okay, so Edith, what we have to do with you is we have to brand yourself. That's number one. Branding is huge. So let's take me. Over the last 30 years, I have branded myself in many different areas. So let's take real estate investing, right? I have branded myself as a specialist to help investors. Now, that's not all that I do, Edith, but that's a
Mhm.
part of my branding. Now, at Platinum, here's what we do. That legacy program that I was telling you about, Edith, we
Mhm.
actually give you investors. We give you the lead. So we have the lead for you already, Edith. Now, can you go out and find your own? Absolutely. Should you find your own? Absolutely. That opportunity is always there for you. But in my leadership program, we
Mhm.
actually give you those leads as well. Does that sound good to you, Edith?
It sounds good. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Mhm.
And one of the things that we do is every single week we have specific training on specific areas. Let's take investment properties. Tamara said you have to understand the numbers, right? So yes, we call Tamara, and yes, Tamara help us with the numbers, but we actually train you on how you can understand the numbers so you're not totally clueless, right? Do we call Tamara? Absolutely. Can Tamara help us? Absolutely, yes. But either you want to understand. So you want to brand yourself as a specialist. This is what I always tell agents, right? A lot of doctors have a doctorate degree, right? But that brain surgeon gets paid more because he specifically does brain surgery and that's it. And he gets paid more because he have that specialty.
Mhm.
So relocation, like Tamara was saying, relocation, investment property, Edith, you need to specialize.
And I'm going to piggyback on what Luther said. I love that. There's more than one way to make this work. And yes, who you're working with, if they are promoting it like Luther does, if he's promoting leads, if he's promoting investor opportunities, if he's promoting, that is a bigger, faster way to get you where you need to be. Yes, could you looking for investors on Meetup, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on going straight to someone who rehabs houses and ask them who their investors are. Are there a multitude of ways to reach out to investors and begin working with them? Posting on LinkedIn, posting on TikTok, posting on Facebook. Yes, but please don't forget, whoever is your broker, that person also has a wealth of knowledge and the ability to help really jumpstart you.
I appreciate that. Thank
Sounds
you.
good, Edith?
Yes, it does. Thank you for answering.
Oh, thank you for the question. We love them. Love questions.
And let me tell everybody this. One special thing about investors. One investor can make your year. What do I mean by that? I had an investor, this was 20 something, 30 years ago. He bought a apartment complex, did higher and best use. So it was a 132 unit apartment complex. We took that 132 unit apartment complex and we sold each unit as a townhouse, higher and best use. You guys, that made my entire year, right? Because now I have 132 listings. I sold 132 townhouses. So I helped him buy the apartment. Then we turned those apartments into townhouses, and we sold each individual apartment as a townhouse. Booyah! I have had investors who say, Luther, I want to buy 5 properties this year, 9 properties this year, 14 properties this year. Got it. And look, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's entertainers, professional athletes. There's a lot of people out there who say, I have cash. I want to take this cash and invest into investment property. I want to buy more than just one property. Yes, I know. Residential house, one person buys one house, they move their family in, they're happy for 5 years, 7 years, sometime forever, they never move. Not investment property. I want to buy 3 properties, 5 properties, 12 properties. So this is very important what you're hearing from Tamara. Tamara, help me now as I'm going to turn this back over to Tamara. But these investors, they can do multiple deals. So one investor can give you 3, 4, 5, 9 closings in a year. Tamara, can we do multiple deals with this DCR?
Well, not only can we do multiple, we can close multiple at one time. So, for example, I had someone who had a 1031 exchange, which we're not covering today, but that just means that they sold a property, they put all the money into an exchange to keep it out of taxes, and they bought 3 properties using those funds in order to build up the number of properties. So, they sold one and then bought 3 by selling one. So the agent sold the home, okay? And then the agent turned around and sold them 3 more, right? And so that agent, just on that one individual, got 4 deals that 1 year. Okay. And all 3 of those closed simultaneously on the same day. Now you could break them up. Maybe one's on Friday, one's on Tuesday, whatever the case may be, but they had them all working at the same time. So yes, so DSCR opens up the window because we're not looking at debt ratio. We're looking at assets. Assets were sitting in a 1031, or they could have been in a savings, or whatever the case may be. We're looking at that they have enough assets to do what they're trying to do, as well as reserves. That was a question I had outside of the last training. Reserves are money left over after we close, meaning you have enough house payments to cover this property, this property, and this property. Some of my reserves, which is what I explained to the individual, was 2 months, some are 3, some are 6. And so we look at all of that when trying to decide which program to put them in, because I have over 15 DSCR programs. We'll decide which one to put them in based on the information that they have provided, right? The more information we get, the better it's going to be for them. So yes, you can close multiples at one time, and that agent, it made her month. Let me just tell you that right now. Is that what you meant, Luther?
Tamara, look, everybody that's listening to me right now, I don't know what you paid for this, but that's $1,000 worth of information right there. Send Tamara a tip. Send her a tip. Tamara, send your cash app. No, I'm kidding. But you guys with me, that is valuable information. Tamara hit it right on the head. She hit it right there. Listen, you guys don't understand how valuable what Tamara is telling you. You now have a tool, DSCR, that will allow your investor to buy multiple properties. Tamara said we can do multiple deals. Now, I just want to just clear something up because I know you guys don't ask questions because a confused mind says no, and I don't ever want anybody to be confused. Let me just hit you with 1031 really, really quick. We're going to
Love
have
that.
a full training
Yes.
on it, but here's how 1031 works. Let me just give you the overview without the detail. 1031 tax exchange says, Mr. Investor, you have a property. You're going to sell this property. If you take the profit from this property and buy another property, you can not pay taxes. That's just the quick, easy, simple. So here's what Tamara said. Agent said, this investor said, I am going to buy this one property. I'm going to take the profit. If I take the profit and I put it into my account, I pay taxes. Okay, I want to build wealth, generational wealth. So when I sell this property and when I get the profit, that investor that Tamara's talking about, he took the profit and bought 3 properties. He doesn't have to pay taxes because he did the 1031 tax exchange and bought more property. Powerful strategy. And here's the deal, if you're helping investors, which everybody should be doing right now, Tamara's saying, I have a a financial vehicle that will allow you to do it, and all 3 of those properties, they're not worried about the person's credit. Tamara, shut up. You get a tip for that one right there.
I'll take all the tips I can get. But guys, let me say it this way. Let's say you're making a 2% commission, okay? And that was over $2 million. That's $40,000. And for one person, $3 million, over $60,000, right? That person closed over 2 million in transactions from one person in 1 month. That's huge. That's why people work with investors. That's why they take the time to, they're not sitting aside saying, and that same person, I've closed first time home buyers for her as well. Okay. They're not saying they don't do other transactions. They're saying they are looking for investors to continue to build that wealth. Okay. And since closing that in the last 12 months, that person decided they didn't really want one of those properties and is already listing that property to sell it and get something else. So that's what I mean. Some investors move things around. They hold them long term. They may not hold them long term. It's one of the questions I ask them. But guys, investors will really help you. Is it the end all of everything? No. Please kind of keep in mind you've got other things that you want to work with. But like Luther is saying, one investor could make your year. Definitely could make your quarter or your half year. Right? Right, Luther?
Absolutely. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeed.
So we did have some questions. Were there any other questions from last one, Luther, or we got them all?
Uh, yes. No, I have another question here.
Okay.
This is a good one right here. Uh, can you ask this one live? This is somebody in my legacy program. She
Stop it. Yay.
unmute yourself here. Miss Charlene Huff, how are
Oh,
you?
I love Charlene. Hey, Charlene.
Hello.
How you
How y'all
doing?
doing today?
Good, good.
Awesome. How
So,
about you?
so that you guys don't know, the real star is on the line now. Miss Charlene Huff, she's been with me for over 30 years. She actually convinced me to get my broker's license. I was an investor owning property, did not want to get my broker's license. Charlene said, get your broker's license, mentor me. I went, I got the broker's license. She was the first agent that I ever signed up. She actually filled out all of the paperwork for me because I did not know what I was doing. So yes, thank you, Miss Charlene Huff. Okay, Charlene, what's your question? She have a good one.
Okay, so I have a gentleman, he's getting ready to retire, but he's a veteran and he wants to get into investing. So he just wants to make sure that he'll be able to qualify to use his VA benefits to buy property
Oh,
using this program.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So VA and DSCR are two totally separate things. However, have veterans use their VA benefits multiple times? I know we had a training, but it's been a long minute here since then. Yes, in fact, I have two properties that were VA loans. I lived in them for over a year, and then I wanted to live somewhere else. And so I kept them, rented it, and then used VA a second time, VA a third time. So if that veteran owns a property and they haven't used up all their amount that they can use, then they are able to use their VA benefits another time, in some cases at 100%, and leave behind their property to be rented and not count in their debt ratio if it's done correctly. So we walk them through how to do that correctly. But yes, you could use it multiple times, but you could not use your VA benefits as a true DSCR. DSCR is a program in itself, but that is a fantastic question. Love VA.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
it.
hold up. Charlene, you with me, Charlene? Because
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, Charlene. And I don't want nobody to ever leave this thing confused. Okay. Now, Tamara, I'm going to dig a little deeper into this question. So, VA is owner occupied. So Tamara said she have multiple VA loans. She have purchased multiple VA properties. I was never a VA, but I purchased multiple FHA properties. But let me explain this. FHA is owner occupied. So I was living in Kansas City, bought a FHA owner occupied, moved from Kansas City to Atlanta, Georgia, bought another FHA property. So I have two FHA properties with two FHA loans, but I owner occupied both. Okay. Charlene, DSCR is that is a investment product for investors. VA, help me, Tamara. Help me, because I don't want nobody to think, well, Tamara bought 3 VA homes and I'm gonna go out as an investor and buy 3 VA homes. I don't want nobody to get this twisted on my webinar. Not under my watch. We're not doing that. So let's back up and let's be a little more specific. And I want you to leave here, Charlene, understanding VA is owner occupied. DSCR is investor. So these DSCR loans, these are specifically investor loans. They're never occupying those properties. They're straight investor. VA FHA owner occupied. Help me, Tamara. Tamara, can I buy a VA loan and not occupy, or am I required to occupy? And Tamara, talk to us about how you did 2 VA loans. Did you do owner occupy? Did you not owner occupy? Help us with the details so we don't get kind of confused here.
And that's a great question. I'm glad you're circling back to it again. I want to be hold on, one more, very clear. VA is for owner occupied only. You must live in that home. It must be your home for over a year. You're not buying it with the intention for it to be a rental. You're buying it with the intention for it to be your primary residence. Now, if you live in it in a year or two later, or whatever the case may be, you want something bigger, you're moving to a different area. Maybe you're living on the north side of a city, you're now moving to the south side of a city. VA is going to let you, if you haven't used up all of your funds available, they're going to let you use it again to buy another property and rent out the one you're leaving behind. So VA, there's a huge misconception on VA VA. And unfortunately, it's with a lot of loan officers who aren't VA experts. They think that you can only use it one time, is some of the crazy stuff I hear. And then the other crazy thing is, oh, you can't get another VA. You already have one. That's another crazy one I hear all the time. You can use it again, but you can't knowingly go, "Ooh, I want that house. I want to rent that house. I'm going to use my VA to get that rental." No, 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 no. VA is primary. That's where you're going to be living. DSCR, you're never living in that home. That home is being purchased for income purposes to rent it. Making sure that clarified that.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, Lord Tamara. I want to clarify that because I already heard my phone ringing and your phone ringing.
My text message is gonna blow up.
Yeah. I have an investor who wants to buy VA. No. I want to be like Tamara and buy two VA investment properties. No. We're not doing that. VA is owner occupied. So let's go back to Charlene. So, Charlene, your client, the property he wants to purchase to owner occupy, that can go VA.
Okay.
The property that he wants to do as a investment property, never live in, that's DSCR.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Thank you, y'all.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love the question though. Perfect question. Wonderful, beautiful. Okay, very good. Anything else, Charlene? But was that good?
No, that was good. That was the only one I had today.
Good. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and I think that's good. That we clarify that. DSCR is strictly investment property only. Okay. All right. Good. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so what we've used up most of our time. I know we wanted to touch base on fix and flip. I'm not going to get crazy into fix and flip, which is the next one up there. What I am going to say is, and we got about 10 more minutes here, and then that's it. What I am going to say is it is available, right? It's a whole different animal. It's a whole different kettle of fish here. Did I just show like I'm from the South? I think so. Okay, so what do we do? Well, we have multiples of these, not one program, multiple. So when you're calling me, I'm trying to determine what your investor is trying to do. You know, are they buying a house? They're gonna gut it. Are they buying a four family? Are they going to gut it? Is it already gutted and they're trying to fix it? What exactly are they going to do? That's a longer conversation. It's not a DSCR loan. The more property they either own or have done, the better the scenarios for them. And so we discuss that with them. In some cases, we have people who have, 5 properties. So we're giving them 90% of the value, meaning they're only putting down 10% and we're going to cover 100% of the fix of the property. So they're very little money into these loans. They're not loans that the person is keeping long term. Right? These are loans where somebody is buying a property and more than likely they're going to sell it using you again. So, right, investor, you just sold them a property and now they want to list it with you when they're finished, right? So, that's what a fix and flip is. We have multiple different scenarios. More than likely, this is a property that's vacant. This is not a property that you've got a tenant in there. This is a property that is vacant with situations that need to be done, right? There's something going on. They need a kitchen, they need bathrooms, they need flooring, they need walls. If they're brand new at getting started, maybe they've done one or they own one other home or they own 2 other homes, that's when we're going to need more down payment. That could be 20%, that could be 25%. So we really get deep dive with the customer. What are you trying to do? Is there, we're going to ask the specifics of the property. I'm looking at pictures of the property. You're trying to close on it, and then there is time frames for them to get the work done. Most fix and flippers want to be in and out, and Luther may jump in here on this, in and out in 90 days. And then they're listing it, they want it sold. Then there are the newbies who just get started, and it might take them 6 months to get it done for one reason or another. And so we're discussing with them, they're providing a cost. Here's everything being done. Here's a complete breakdown of how much it's going to cost to do everything that we want to do. And then those funds are held until stages throughout the process of getting the property done. And so your borrower, when we're discussing this with them, we're going, depending on which one we are putting them into, we're going into great detail. If we do this one, this is what we're looking at. If we do this one, this is what we're looking at. But what is good about this is it's not just 1 to 4 units. It might be a 5 unit, a 7 unit, an 8 unit, and they're flipping the whole thing, right? They're going in, they're removing a tenant or whatever, and they're wanting to take it and redo how the whole place looks. And they're either going to sell it with you, or they're going to come back, refinance it, and keep it. More often than not, we find that they sell it with you. So again, another revenue stream for you. So what we look at is we're looking at their experience. How long have they been doing it? How many do they have? We look at their credit score. We make sure this is considered commercial for them, right? So this is more likely in an investor LLC. They're using an LLC for this. And then we're taking a look at the project. Here, let me give you an example. And then Luther will probably jump in and probably ask me tons of questions. But what we're looking at is they're buying this place for 200,000. Okay, they need 100,000 to fix it up. The 300,000. Now that property can't be worth $250,000 when we're done. That's not happening, right? This property is probably worth 400,000. So why would a fix and flipper do a property that's not going to be there? It's not going to have enough equity in it when they're finished. That's not what they're looking for if you're an agent. They're looking for the property that is a deal. What is that deal look like? So sometimes it looks like it's going to be a deal. They go out and look at it. They start calculating the numbers. They've got their spreadsheet. They've got their calculators, whatever the case that they're carrying with them to determine the deal. And then that's determining either the price they'll offer on the home or that it doesn't work and they have to walk away. It's not going to make the numbers work. So sometimes you might give an investor 2, 3, 4 homes before 5, 6 homes before they finally go, this one works, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. They're doing it for a profit. They're looking to make a profit on it, and they're not looking at it like a regular person buying a home. They're looking at it financially. How much is it going to cost me to get the home, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unit? How much is it going to cost me to get that property to where I can either sell it for more money or refi, keep it, hold on to it long term, right? And so that's what we're looking at with these. And we typically look, and a lot of times you may even need an architectural situation going on. But right now, this is just the little piece I'm giving you. This is, they aren't coming to us and they have no cash. They're coming to us and they have, depending upon experience, 20, 30%, 10%. What is their experience level? That lets us know how much money they need to have in, make it work. And sometimes your investors might be 2 or 3 pooling together, right? Maybe they've got cash. Luther can talk on that for a second as well. Maybe 2 of them have cash. One of them's going to oversee the project and that's their money in, etc. Luther?
Yes, no. That's 100% right. One of the things that I want to do here, I have another question, and I think this is a powerful one. And I would like for her to ask it live. She has some great questions here, and it's about fix and flip for you. Let me see. Let me see if I can find her. Uh, Edith, can you unmute yourself and ask the question about the fix and flip and having an agent with the fix and flip?
Okay. Let's see. I was thinking like, okay, if you're riding by and you see someone, well, that might be my second one, but I I I want to know, can you go up to them and ask, do they have a real estate agent to market it for them? And do the investor usually have, do they already have a real estate agent while fixing the flip? It's it to me, it's like I'm in a small town and south of Atlanta, about an hour or so, and I just wonder how, some people say they already they're working with investors, and I'm trying to. You told me that I can go to Meetup, LinkedIn, Facebook, I guess, and put on there that I would like to work with uh, an investor, or I would like to work with first time home buyers. That's what I like to do, and uh, to get an investor, the marketing is something else because it's different these days. Trying to market yourself to get the business. And
Well,
so I was wondering, if you riding by, can you stop by and just ask them, do you already have a real estate agent? Is that cool?
yes. First of all, Edith, anything and everything works, right? A
Hmm.
closed mouth will never get fed.
Yeah.
So it's nothing illegal about it. It's nothing unethical about it. It's nothing wrong. I have knocked on doors. I have sent out postcards. I have sent out letters. I have done it all to get business. It's
Hmm.
it's an absolute yes. And if you're riding down the street and you see an investor doing a rehab and you want to stop and talk, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Now,
Okay.
from a prospecting standpoint, what I teach from as prospecting as a real estate agent, there's a lot of other things that we can do. Which and all of those work. So my thing is, would I tell you not to do it? Absolutely not. Right? Is if you see anybody anywhere and you want to ask them if they need your services, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Do I want to just focus on, and this is my main way of getting business, riding around town,
No.
trying to find investors? No, no, because there's better ways, and I teach other prospecting ways, and they're more powerful tools to
Hmm.
get investors, but it's absolutely nothing wrong with asking.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll talk to you a little later about some of those ways, or uh, a broker or somebody about some of those ways on another call. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for your attentiveness.
Yeah, I had a car accident, real bad car accident. Somebody, my son bought a car, had a car for 4 days. Somebody hit the back of us, and then we hit another car. We're in a sandwich deal. Had to
Mm,
go to the chiropractor, right? I go
mhm,
to the chiropractor. He says, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a real estate broker. Do you do investment property? Absolutely. Hey, he says, hey, I buy investment property. We started talking, right?
mhm.
I can definitely help you. I will. Now, did I go into that chiropractor's office expecting to come out with a lead? No.
No.
But he's a doctor. He have cash. He said, I want to the building where his chiropractor, he owned that building. And he said, I like real estate. I want to buy more. Here's another point too. I carried myself as a professional. I was dressed professional. I
Mm,
act professional. So he said, sir, what do you do? Because I know you do something, because every time you come to my chiropractic office, you look like a professional. That's also very important, right?
yeah.
He said, what do you do? I said, real estate, a state broker. He said, hey, do you do investment property? Absolutely, yes. Edith, when I say no, is it against the law? Is it wrong? Absolutely not. I'm taking that lead. You with
Thank
me?
you. Yes.
But when I go to the dentist, I'm not walking in there trying to walk out with the investor lead.
Right.
Making sense?
Yes, it is.
Edith,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk later. Edith, we'll
Thank
talk
you so
on
much.
later.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk.
Yes, I hope so.
You have all my information. Listen.
I do.
Yes, you do. Okay, good. Contact me. Contact me. Tamara Burch, give us 3 things that we should have taken away from this webinar today. 3 powerful points that we should take away from DSCR today.
I think the first one is you can grow your business exponentially by working with investors and being confident, knowing I'm a resource. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to your broker. Just call us. We're both here for you anytime, whether we're able to, whether it's a listing or whatever. So I would say that. Number 2, period. This isn't the only products we have. You're seeing that. There's so many. If you have a scenario, just because someone else said no doesn't mean we're going to say no. Run the scenario by me. Give me a call, text me anytime. Let's run that scenario through together. And 3, put yourself out there. Put yourself out there that this is what you're doing. This is what you're wanting to do. See what other people who are being successful are posting, and really just put yourself out there and start the end of this quarter as well as the beginning of next quarter, and just be on top. You guys are amazing. You can do anything.
Absolutely. Tamara, please give us your email address and your phone number and your website.
770-916-1234. I know it's a hard one. 770-916-1234. Tamara.Burch, B-U, like church, Burch at grarate.com. You need anything at all? Give me a call. I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Tamara. Listen, my phone number is right on the screen. Call or text 470-740-9300. 470-740-9300. And put in your calendar right now, the first Tuesday of the month at 12 noon, right here. We do mortgages, creative financing. We do creative financing the first Tuesday of the month every month. You can register at mortgage.lutherragsdale.com. Whether you are watching the recording, whether you are listening to this live right now, lock into your cell phone. Remind yourself, first Tuesday of the month, mortgage.lutherragsdale.com. We talk creative financing every single month with Miss Tamara Burch. You guys, my time is up. We hit it right on the dot. I appreciate everything for all of my upcoming events, webinars, workshops, everything. Visit lutherragsdale.com. That's my website. It's very simple. It's just my name, lutherragsdale.com. Thank you. God bless you. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
You and me, passions of things. You need you all the time. I miss you. You keep you satisfied. Your love. You all through the night, girl. And let me